fulfill. That's what we need to be focused on. So as I always say, everything has always been about us. The whole question is what we're going to do about it. Can we do anything about it? And us, complaining and not really understanding what the issue is, the problem is, that's not going to get us anywhere. We got to understand what they're doing and what they're trying to do and what their plans for us is, and act accordingly. And, one of the reasons, again, why I said you're not going to be able to unite, it's because of these egos. Because when you're trying to put something out there and put out information, you have people constantly bombarding you with stuff that's besides the point. To me, this stuff is not so hard to figure out. Plain and simple. They've been using us for years. We built this country. They're using our spending power, our buying power to grow their economy. They have made billions and trillions of dollars off the sweat, the backs, the hard work of African American people. And it continues to be done. It's just, what are we going to do about it? We are seeing it right before our eyes and we are doing nothing about it. It's the same thing over and over again. We complaining to the very people that is causing us to complain in the first place, asking the very people that's oppressing us to stop oppressing us, as if they're going to do something. You got to step outside the box. The flaw to this system is anybody can be successful in it, plain and simple. And the simple fact that they have an image that they need to put out there and portray because they don't want to say outright that the system is against African American people, you got to use that to your advantage, because they're not going to come and outright say it. So in that capacity, you can grow. When you understand what's going on and how the system works, you can grow, you can be successful. But if you just go and keep sitting up here complaining and pointing the finger and not understanding what you can do and how to move correctly, it's never going to get done. It's nothing that's ever going to get fixed. We're going to keep sitting up here complaining, and we're not ever going to grow as a people. But if you focus on yourself and grow, on your own, and move in the right direction, understanding what's ahead of you, you'll be fine. Plain and simple. So we have to really pay attention and not get caught up in this whole race, black, white man stuff so much. Like, as if you saying the white man is doing something. As if you saying racism is doing something. What is that doing? Who are you telling that to? You know what I'm saying? It's like we saying it to each other, but for what? As if something that's going to get done. I don't understand it no more. I just don't. The reason why I'm rich, the reason why I got to where I'm at, is because I don't look at that shit. I understand how to use this system to work to my advantage. And this is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand and do, and not sit back and be dwelling on what these people is doing while you struggling. Plain and simple. You can scream racism and all that, and the white man, what is it doing for you? How is it benefiting you screaming this stuff? How is it helping your life? How is it going to help your future? We're going to have to deal with this stuff, because people just are not going to want to get it. You still got people that's stuck in religion. And when I see people, nitpick about every little thing that a conscious person put out and say, everything is critiqued. Everything we say has to be the way that each individual person wanted to be in order for us to be relevant. When I see this, to me, these people are the same as Christians who sit up here and talk about this Jesus and God, yet they're talking to you on social media, a place they ain't supposed to be at. It's hypocritical. It's bullshit. So, in that capacity, this is one of the reasons why we're not going to unite. Again, I'll forever scream it. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. Get your shit together and, act accordingly and pay attention to this scheme, because, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's us continually to harp on the white supremacy whole thing, the narrative, and racism and everything we see. Everything has to do with black, white. This cop racist. He did it because he racist. Everything is dealing with that now. That's just basically our feature, it seems like. Instead of us stepping around that, ignoring that bullshit and doing something extra. It just is what it is. We've been dealing with it for so long. Now all of a sudden, because it's more, relevant, we're seeing it more. A lot more people is being stuck in that, and not understanding, that it's a distraction from a bunch of other more important things. And we got to understand that. We got to realize that. So when I'm talking about distraction, when I'm talking about, understanding what they're using this whole media system to distract us, this is what I mean. Racism is it. That is clearly what they're using. And by us keep using it ourselves and making it our number one excuse for why we are where we at. We're going to stay where we are. It's just that simple. So we know what happened. We know our history. We know what they're trying to do. And some people sitting up here acting like it's just going to change, because we scream racism. We scream white supremacy. It's not. So, when we understand that the distraction of race is making us believe that we cannot grow economically because of racism. And that's what it's designed to do, to keep us fixated on race and use that as an excuse to not grow economically. And in the meantime, while we are using this as a distraction, we are still not supporting the black businesses and helping them grow, because a lot of people feel like it's just futile. And it's crazy. It's one of the things that we have to look at and understand is the main issue. So unless you figure out a way to get your shit together on your own, don't deal with nobody else bullshit. Don't worry about what you already know what's going to happen, regardless if you scream it or not. Focus on you, how you can be successful, and what you can do for you and your future, you and your kids' future, or what have you. That's what you need to be focused on. Now, everybody want to talk. People like to complain. That's one of the things people use as a coping mechanism to get through their day to day. They just complain about shit. Don't make it right, but you need to find a different way to, express yourself rather than just complaining about shit that, makes no sense. It's creating this huge dialogue that's, unimportant and a distraction away from real things. So the stuff that I talk about, the stuff that I put out here on YouTube that I'm trying to get you guys to understand is so you can understand that this is what we need to be focused on. This is what's important, plain and simple. And any black person can come up on here and scream racism, white supremacy, who's racist and who's not, and talk about all that kind of stuff. But how is it going to benefit us? What do we need to do? What is the next move? Talk about religion all day long. But what do we need to do as a people to move forward? What we need to do as individuals, to move forward. And we know the reason why we are where we at and why everything is so messed up is because of economics. So again, economically, if we're not focusing on us building wealth and building power and doing something that's actually going to benefit us economically, there's no reason to talk about anything else. Plain and simple. So once you figure out how to use this system to benefit you and figure out the many different ways you can grow and be successful using this system, plain and simple, is not that hard. The same system that's depressing you and the same system that's, feeding off your energy and everything else, you can use that very system to grow economically and to be self-sustaining and not have to deal with none of the problems that you're complaining about. But instead, people choose to complain rather than look into the actual problem. And this is what we're seeing. So you got to look at everything that happened, look at everything from Oscar Grant, everything from Trayvon Martin, everything that we've been seeing, even with recently with the judge stepping in and pleading not guilty for the white kid that killed those people. So everything we've been seeing with the mass shootings, with the white dudes who get off and get caught without being shot and everything like that, all the mass shootings and everything we've been seeing that is giving you the narrative that black people ain't shit and white people is everything, that we are bad and white people is good, and he's just a troubled young white man, and meanwhile the black dude is demonized and vilified when he does something wrong, but the white person that kills a bunch of people is okay, he's calm, he's just troubled. You don't think all this stuff, the whole narrative, the way they put it, all this stuff is related and connected and has a point? The point is for you to feed off of that, to get upset and do exactly what we are doing. And the marching, how long ago was Trayvon Martin? It was so long ago. We done had a 2-term black president. What has changed? What has changed? All the marching we've been doing since Trayvon Martin, what did we get from it? What did we get from, for black folks? What did we get? What happened? What changed for us to fix anything? Not a fucking thing. Absolutely nothing. So there goes your point right there, that it's all pointless. We got nothing changed. We're still dealing with the same things. More black people have been killed unarmed. If we have a 2-term black president and nothing changed, what does that tell you? Tell you right there, it's all bullshit. So again, they're not scared of you marching. They're not scared of you protesting, because they understand that A lot of people, they go out there and they'll scream racism, white supremacy in a crowd of people because they know it's a bunch of black people that's going to back them up. They'll go march because they understand it's a bunch of black people that's going to march and protest with them. But when you get home, what's good for you? What's good? Who you working for? What are you doing? How successful are you? Now, the people who they really want is the successful black folks. That's what they want. So when you're going out there and being successful and doing something, what do they try to do? They don't push you away. They try to recruit you and bring you onto their side. Plain and simple. They don't want to deal with, these pro-black people. So they're not scared of us marching and protesting or nothing like that. They're scared of you being successful as an individual and doing what with that success? Taking it back to the black community and growing in your community. This is what they're scared of. Not you marching, but you growing economically. And once you do that, what happens? They try to put that black success to work for them in some kind of capacity, plain and simple. So even still, when you look at college, you have a lot of black folks that's doing good. You have these sororities and secret societies or what have you, bringing black people in. So these Greek fraternities and sororities understand the value of an educated, successful black person, and this is who they want to recruit. And if you took that and understood that and was successful and educated as a black person with the understanding of, your history and what's going on, this is what they fear. This is what they're not looking out for. They want you to be so immersed in this system and how it's steering people in different directions. And either you're going to go in the direction they want you to go, or you're going to go make your own way. As long as for them, it results in a successful black person being on their side, underneath their control, that's all they're worried about. But when you start being successful, when we start being successful as conscious people, this is what they fear. And, they're using the whole militant thing and us being so, immersed in the hatred and, the history. That is what they understand. It's going to consume us and get us to not unite and not come together because we're too much consumed with where we turn and look. It's racism, white supremacy, racist, and we consume with that versus success, because that's what really matters. So this is what we got to look out for and understand how it's being used, and a whole narrative is being used for us to follow that path that's leading us to nowhere. Where has it led us? As I said, how long ago was Trayvon Martin? How long ago was Oscar Grant? How long ago was that whole thing? We've been marching and protesting since. Two-term black president, nothing. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, proven to be frauds. We have shown that, there's no more real black leaders that's, in the forefront as far as dealing with the system that's, for the advancement of African American people. We're on our own. There's nobody there no more. It's gone. The real leaders are assassinated. And I keep telling people that if you think it's a real leader and they standing around and if they mainstream and they still alive, it's because they in somebody's pocket already. So any real leaders are assassinated, plain and simple. They get out there mainstream and it's doing big things. It's trying to do anything to uplift and build and make successful black people that's not underneath their system. That's, conscious. So, my point in this video is we gotta let that shit go. And I'm not saying let it go as far as forget about it. Just act accordingly and understand. Understand what it is and don't let it drive your reaction, your statements, the way you move. Understand what that is and understand to keep it 100% real. We can keep getting into spirituality and everything like that. But understand, as far as progression, as black people on this planet, economics is everything. Plain and simple. And that is the one thing we have not grasped and had a control on as a people, which is why we are where we are at. So we see what we can do economically as individuals. So when you have, again, like-minded, conscious black people successful, there's a lot we can achieve when we have a lot of these conscious black folks coming out with their success and then doing big things later on that's outside of their control. But if you let the money change you If you become successful and forget where you come from, if you become successful and it's not conscious, then this is the stuff you're going to fall victim to. And again, it's not even really about that. It's about understanding how everything is going to be used to point you towards an understanding that everything is racist and everything is racism, and that's what you should be consumed with and not success. So the people who are focused more on success become successful. Those who are focused on the rest of the bullshit got to deal with the rest of the bullshit. Pay attention to what's going on and focus on the real point, the real narrative of what these people are doing, and anything that has to do with black, white, we know already. We're going to deal with shit already. It's a deeper meaning behind it. That's what we need to be focused on. We understand who's racist and who's not and what's going on and everything like that, and what the white man trying to do. We get all that shit. What are you going to do about it? So that's my point. I didn't really want too much in this video, but to just make this point and to get people to change their mindset and change their thinking. As I talked about in personal economics, it starts with your thinking first. You do not understand. There's a lot of people walking around who don't understand that their thinking is being altered. A lot of people thinking the way they move is the way they're supposed to move. Your thinking, your understanding about how things are has been altered. You need to get that in your head and understand that what you think, the way you feel is being altered. It's being constantly fucked with and changed daily. So when you think you're right and you think you're putting a point forward and you think you're on the right page, you could be wrong. And you need to stop and think and understand what you're saying, and that, have the understanding that you are being constantly messed with to have a thought process that's going to benefit the system and not yourself. That's going to set you against yourself and have you in conflict with yourself. Plain and simple. There's a lot of people that's dealing with that in religion. They're conflicted. They don't understand that their subconscious is trying to get them out of the religion, and they're trying to act like they're true to the religion, but they know they're not. That's something that's conflicting within you. This whole racism, white supremacy thing is no different. You are conflicted. You're not really looking at the true point and what's really important. A lot of people just want to harp on racism as if us screaming racism is going to do something. We can look at it as a moral right and wrong thing, but who makes the rules and changes the laws that will benefit a person morally? The same people you trying to, convince, the same people that is oppressing you. So, it's crazy. It's crazy. So you can't just scream it as if, just because you're right, something that's going to change. It's not. The same people that wanted to perpetuate the whole thing, that wanted to keep going on, it's the only people that can change it. So again, bottom line, if you ain't using a system to benefit you, if you're not using a system to grow, spiritually, economically, and to put yourself in a position and your children and your family in a position to be in the right position later on, what's the point? What's the point? A lot of people got y'all confused. It's a balance, as I said. It's not all about just, saying Kemet this and, they stole everything from us and all that. And it's done. It's over with. It's nothing we can do about that. That's history. It's over. It's good to understand it and to learn it and to know it. But if you truly do that, then you understand how to move forward. Plain and simple. And this is what we have not done, because you got so many people out here that want you to focus more on the past and what was done to us and not how to rectify it. So again, I teach about the past, teach about the present, and I talk about everything that, was done, how, the Bible and Kemet and everything like that, and how we need to understand this stuff to move forward. This is what I mean. Once you understand it, you can understand how to move forward. This is what I have effectively done myself and why I am where I am. And this is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. You got to move differently. And I'm not telling you forget the past or anything like that, but to use it and understand where we are and what we can do to fix our situation. And that's basically it. So, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch, and see you next video.